This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 14th day of July in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The Mohammed's family, which owns Mohammed's Enterprises, one of the largest business groups in the country, has rejected a special report by the international Reuters news agency, linking the company and its principals to gold smuggling and drug trafficking. In an explosive report released this morning on its online platform, the Reuters news agency reported that the U.S. is probing the Mohammed's company, which serves as a contractor for ExxonMobil for gold smuggling and drug trafficking. In a statement issued hours later, the Mohammed's company described the reports as defamatory of the character and reputation of the company's owner Nazar Mohammed and his son Azruddin Mohammed. The Mohammeds said they reject the sources referred to in the report and what they consider to be the reckless use of the sources as the basis of the entire report. The statement from the Mohammeds said that they categorically deny that they are the subject of any investigation by any U.S. authority. In response to a request by Reuters to respond to the allegations, the Mohammeds said they not only specifically deny the allegations, but challenged the Reuters news agency to produce any evidence to support the allegations made in the report. The Reuters news agency is one of the largest news organizations in the world, with more than 2,500 international correspondents in more than 200 countries. According to the report carried by the international news agency, U.S. officials are considering imposing sanctions on the Mohammeds, according to 4 of the sources and 2 additional people familiar with the matter who spoke to the Reuters news agency. The report noted that such a move could require ExxonMobil to sever its business relationship with any sanctioned individual or company. Exxon is currently partnering with the company involved in the Gas to Shore project, which involves the Mohammeds Group. The Gas to Shore project is one of the major investments linked to the oil and gas sector in Guyana and enjoys the full support of the government of Guyana. The Mohammeds would like the news organization Reuters to produce any information to support the allegations and statements in its report, which the company and family consider to be vile and sloppy. The Mohammeds say they consider the report a most vile and diabolical hatchet job, published with the primary intention to create the appearance that the Mohammeds are in a position of conflict with the U.S. law enforcement agencies. The Reuters report reveals that based on its sources, the Mohammeds are being investigated by the Drug Enforcement Administration of the U.S., the DEA, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and other U.S. agencies on suspicions of smuggling Colombian cocaine and illegally mined Venezuelan gold to the U.S., Europe, and the Middle East. The Mohammeds continue to reject the report and its claims. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor. flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavor, flavors. Bust the flavor, flavors.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, and 9 students for the 2023-2024 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 613-4806.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Admitting that Guyana is woefully short on the number of judges and magistrates on the bench, President Irfan Ali this afternoon appointed the members of the Judicial Service Commission. The members of the JSC who took the oath of office today are the Acting Chancellor Justice Unit Cummings, Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George, retired Acting Chancellor Carl Singh, retired Judge B.S. Roy, and Chairman of the recently constituted Public Service Commission, Maniram Prashad. The Constitution requires the Chairman of the Public Service Commission to be a member of the Judicial Service Commission. The PSC was appointed just yesterday. At a brief ceremony which was not open to the private media, the President said his government recognizes and respects the independence of the local judiciary and the separation of powers. He also noted the shortage of key judicial officers and the impact that shortage is having on the delivery of justice.
Now that the JSC is in place, it is anticipated that some of those burdens will be lifted and thereby allow for a smoother turning of the wheels of justice. Constituting the Judicial Service Commission has involved a process, the fruits of which have led to today's appointment. I wish to congratulate you, the members of the Judicial Service Commission. I thank you for agreeing to serve. I extend best wishes to you in the discharge of the functions of the Commission.
In thanking the new members of the Judicial Service Commission for agreeing to serve, the President urged them to maintain fairness and impartiality.
I only ask that you be faithful to your oath of office and that you guard zealously the independence, integrity, and impartiality of our judicial system to ensure that it remains a cornerstone of our democratic system of government.
President Ali also pledged his government's continued support for the local judiciary and its budget, promising investments in technology and infrastructure to better allow the judiciary to function. The life of the last Judicial Service Commission came to an end way back in 2017. The commission is responsible for, among other things, the appointment of judges and other judicial officers. City businessman and Eccles resident Andrew Morgan was today sentenced to 4 years in jail and fined a total of $4.9 million, having been found guilty of cocaine trafficking. The sentence was handed down by Magistrate Sunil Scarce at the Diamond Magistrates Court. Morgan was found guilty of the drug trafficking crime just over a week ago. In June of last year, the businessman was found with a large quantity of cocaine at his Eccles East Bank Demerara home. The cocaine carried a total weight of just over 7 pounds, according to the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit. It was a canoe operation at Morgan's Eccles home that unearthed the cocaine along with a 9mm gun and matching ammunition. Separate charges were filed by the police in relation to the gun and ammo discovery. Morgan was on the radar of the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit for a number of years. Kanu has hailed his conviction in the local court as significant. The drug convict is the brother of former race car driver Peter Morgan, who pleaded guilty in 2010 to drug trafficking in the US. He spent several years behind bars before he was eventually deported to Guyana. Well, faced with a growing shortage of nurses, the government of Guyana intends to open its doors to accredited medical institutions from Canada and other developed countries to train more Guyanese nurses in an attempt to meet the needs of the country. At a reception last evening to mark Canada Day, President Finale said, while it is important to partner on big issues like climate change, energy and food security, it is equally important for Guyana and Canada to partner in addressing social issues, such as the human resource deficit in the public health sector. According to the president, while Guyanese healthcare workers have long been receiving specialized training in Canada, there is room for greater collaboration.
But I want to position Guyana as an important destination for the provision of regional human resource assets to meet the skill deficit of countries around the region. And here is where I think there's a tremendous opportunity for Canada and Guyana, in which we are building the infrastructure for training institutions to train for global needs. So, High Commissioner, we encourage Canadian accredited institutions to establish their footprint in Guyana for the training of nurses to meet your own demand, for the training of medical technicians to meet your own demand, and also to meet the regional demand, which include our own demand.
The president's open invitation to Canada comes at a time when Guyana is experiencing a severe shortage of nurses and other medical officers. Guyanese nurses and doctors have been leaving the shores of their homeland for better opportunities and salaries in other countries.
This is an area in which CARICOM as a region is severely challenged, as in the cycle of the movement of labor, we see more attractive markets attracting our medical workers, our nurses, leaving a deficit in our system. And then within CARICOM itself, the more attractive markets would pull from within the system, leaving further deficit in some countries. So it is very important for us as development partners in this region to examine the human resource constraint that we face.
2 days ago, the president said the country will be looking to Cuba to fill nursing vacancies in Guyana with their trained nurses. The president also said the country will initiate discussions with its international partners to have the nursing institutions in Guyana accredited by the international standards.
We're going to be opening up discussions with our development partners in having our nursing institutions and other institutions accredited by your standard. I believe that if our nurses are good enough to be recruited from the training they receive right here and within CARICOM, we are good enough to sell that service that train them to the rest of the world. And that is a business opportunity that we are working on.
The president and his government are pushing for training and education to be an export earner in the country. Nurses and other medical staffers have been complaining for years about their poor salaries and working conditions.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
So ngayon, champ, ay pase last week and this shop lock up tight.
Why? We come down with the flow, so we have to take a couple of days.
I can't deal with them kind of setbacks, Bano. I just get a headache when you see I can't make me little bread.
I know them ways, champ. But thank God for NIS.
NIS? What you got to do now with NIS?
I mean, what I got to do with NIS? I registered as self-employed and I make monthly contributions to NIS.
Oh.
So you see, for them days I lose, NIS pay me back for most of them days.
What? That's good. You know, I always used to believe that it's only people in big offices and so they pay NIS.
Nah, man. NIS for any working person between the ages of 16 to 60. And as self-employed, you get all the benefit as an employee, except for industrial benefits.
So what I gotta do for set up this thing?
All I gotta do is visit NIS on Breakdown, or if you live in out of town, you visit any NIS closest to your location. And once you register and your registration complete, you can start making NIS contributions.
Alright, so what I gotta work with and like how much money I gotta pay a month?
Man, I ain't gotta work with no big money. All I gotta work with is your birth certificate and any farmer ID. And when you reach down there, ask for the compliance department.
Good. Thanks for the information, bro. As soon as I left here, I went straight to the NIS office.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material with 4-wheeled spinners and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Still with our relations with Canada, Canada is adjusting its international assistance program to support Guyana's growth as it seeks to deepen ties, according to the Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana, Mark Berman. He made those comments last evening while addressing a Canada Day reception at his official residence. High Commissioner Berman noted that through Canada's International Assistance Program, it has been partnering with Guyana to support efforts that foster economic and climate resilience, while strengthening inclusive governance, education, health, and gender equality.
As Guyana continues to develop, Canada is also adapting our international assistance programming to strategically support your growth. We'll remain a steadfast and reliable programming partner and will continue to work alongside Guyana to reach the Sustainable Development Goals.
The High Commissioner said women, girls and marginalized communities are at the center of Canada's development agenda. Last year, Canada funded nearly 10 million Canadian dollars in programs, including a 2.5 million Canadian maternal, newborn and child health care program. The project, which aims to improve maternal and neonatal mortality rates in the hinterland, is being rolled out in partnership with the Canadian University McMaster, as well as the Giving Health to Kids Foundation. The High Commissioner said Canada's relationship with Guyana is built on fruitful partnerships at levels of government as well as civil society and other key stakeholders. The Canada Fund for Local Initiatives, he said, is one such mechanism that allows Guyanese to access grants for the execution of community-based projects. In the area of trade and commerce, the Canadian High Commissioner said the Trade Commissioner Service continues to play an essential role for Canadian businesses aspiring to extend their reach to Guyana.
And we're also proud to say that over the last year, the TCS has facilitated over 60 direct business interactions by creating invaluable linkages, not only by promoting Canadian interests, but also indirectly by providing investment opportunities and sharing expertise for Guyanese businesses and organizations essential in the currently developing economy of Guyana.
And President Ali, in his address, said Guyana looks forward to deepening its ties with Canada as one of its key development partners.
We welcome the technical cooperation projects and capacity building programs facilitated by the government and people of Canada in the areas of human resource, community and judicial development, security, and in the energy sector. All of these areas in which we are collaborating and you're supporting us are essential areas for the resilient, sustainable development of our countries.
According to the President, Guyana also looks forward to continuing collaboration under the Guyana-Canada bilateral consultation and to realize greater cooperation through the MOU to facilitate trade and investment between Guyana and Canada. Well, the chairman of the International Decade for People of African Descent Assembly Guyana Coordinating Council, Vincent Alexander, said a review of the state of Afro-Guyanese in Guyana and more so EPADG's 2015 to 2024 strategic plan by financial analyst Joel Bagwandin is highly flawed. Bagwandin, in his review, reportedly indicated that there is no hard evidence to suggest that Afro-Guyanese are marginalized, particularly in the labor sector. But at a press conference today, Mr. Alexander said the review fails to address the historical and systematic issues confronting Afro-Guyanese.
Bagwandin's contention, such as the identification of statistics to show who applied for contracts and that the applicants were equally treated, does not address the historical and systemic disablement of some. That approach permeates Bagwandin's claim that the African Guyanese community are on equal footing and not confronted with identifiable and remediable problems.
In the review, Bagwandin also cast a shadow of doubt on EPADG's strategic plan and the management of finances it had received from the government prior to the 2022 August fallout. Alexander, in his organization's defense, told reporters today that the organization has an unassailable reputation for accountability and transparency, as has been proven through its annual audits and the government's special investigative audit for the years 2018 to 2021. The chairman of the Coordinating Council said EPADG continues to pursue the goals of the decade, notwithstanding the government's decision to withhold its annual subvention. That matter is currently engaging the attention of the courts. Alexander said his organization's robust participation in the recently held second session of the UN Permanent Council for People of African Descent in New York is evidence of the organization's determination to stay the course.
This government, on the other hand, has continued to wage a propaganda campaign against EPADG, including during its premier appearance at the UN meeting on issues related to African descendants. At this session of the Permanent Forum, the government of Guyana opted to send the Minister of Tourism and 2 members of the Ethnic Relations Commission, an entity that should be independent arbiters of ethnic relations.
He also accused the Irfan Ali administration of never fulfilling its obligation to implement the program for the decade. He said the government's first appearance at the UN Forum recently was primarily intended to debunk reports submitted to the UN by EPADG.
The current government operates from the premise that once the current system is not discriminatory on the surface or in itself an inhibitor, then there is no need for reparations, correction, and equitable measures. That flies in the face of the fact that there can be no equality if the contestants are not equally prepared and positioned. Hence the need for the people of African descent, who, for example, were forced off of their lands and into paid employment, to be treated equitably, to enable them to be equalized with those whose agricultural and commercial pursuits were facilitated when the people of African descent were inhibited and continue to be inhibited due to the head start of others.
In the absence of the government subvention, EPADG has been working with a number of its partners to source funding to continue its work. Co-founder of the Political Affairs Committee and senior legal luminary Ashton Chase was laid to rest today. He passed away earlier this week at the age of 96. It was the Political Affairs Committee, which he co-founded, that led to the formation of the People's Progressive Party. At a funeral service on the lawns of the Parliament buildings, Ashton Chase was remembered as an exceptional Guyanese.
Ashton walked the fields and factories with Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow, seeking to enhance and improve working conditions in the sugar industry. Ashton Chase became not only active in the labor movement, but at an early age formed the Political Affairs Committee of the People's Progressive Party alongside Cheddi Jagan, Janet Jagan, and Joycelyn Hubbard.
Dad always put his family first and was always there for us when we needed him. He was the patriarch of our family and always so proud of his children and grandchildren and our accomplishments, no matter how small. He ensured that we had everything we needed, even if it meant sacrificing his wants and needs. He would do anything for us and always went above and beyond to make sure we were happy and healthy. His encouragement and support meant the world to us, and we should always cherish his words of wisdom.
He had a vision, and his vision was to ensure that workers get a better deal, to ensure that workers won't have to work 12 and 15 hours a day, and that there be things like workman compensation which will take care of them at the time of injury.
His life straddled many spheres, but his passions were most pronounced in the vocations of labor, the law, and the liberation of Guyana. Very important, the liberation of Guyana. Indeed, for him, he struggled for workers' rights. His struggle for workers' rights was inseparable from the struggle for national liberation. The law was to be an instrument in the struggle for both, and this was the context in which he saw the law. He saw the law as something that was alive, something that was a tool, an instrument in the work of representing the struggle for the people. And that is why he was such a brilliant force, because he was able to bring to life the law in the interests of the working people.
Although he co-founded a political movement, over the years he became more involved in the labor movement and the legal system. He placed active politics on the back burner.
Did you know that choosing Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline or ultra low sulfur diesel can save you money in the long run? Using high quality fuel with advanced formulations can improve your engine's performance and fuel economy, resulting in fewer trips to the gas station and lower maintenance costs over time. Plus, with Guy Oil's competitive prices, you'll enjoy great value for your money. Don't settle for low quality fuels that can harm your engine and the environment. Choose Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline or ULSD for a cleaner, more efficient ride that saves you money.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? You know, I just pay my bills using MMG, you know?
Yes, Jack, and the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So, I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait, I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man, Jack. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Trinidad and Tobago Guardian in a report said a plan to deliver internet connections to low-income Caribbean households has been unveiled as part of a private-public partnership between leading telecoms operator CNW Communications and some Caribbean countries. Called JUMP, the initiative aims to help bridge the digital divide and foster greater digital inclusion in a region that still has less than 65% broadband penetration, with 27 million users from a total combined population of 44 million, CNW Communications said in a statement. In partnership with local governments, the company, which is the operator Flow Business, CNW Business, and BTC will provide qualifying households with a subsidized high-speed internet connection, a free laptop computer, and relevant training for individuals and families. So far, CNW Communications and the governments of Barbados, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and the Bahamas have committed to JUMP, and more than 2,700 households have already been connected. In 2016, Liberty Global completed the acquisition of cable and wireless communications in a deal set to have an enterprise value of $7.4 billion. The government of Trinidad and Tobago is advancing a policy geared towards integrating migrant children into the primary school education system by September. The revelation by Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Dr. Emery Brown on Thursday follows repeated calls from stakeholders and activists for the displaced children to have access to tuition. During a humanitarian breakfast series, Dr. Brown stated that education without borders for migrant children could soon be a reality. He said starting September, the government will accept migrant children into primary schools. However, there were no talks surrounding the integration of students within the secondary school system. Dr. Brown also told participants that efforts were needed to bridge the gaps that pose a challenge to the enrollment of migrant children. The Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister also used the opportunity to thank local stakeholders for their role in mitigating the fallout caused by the absence of public education for migrant children, and also credited external agencies, including officials at the United States of America Embassy, for their advocacy works on the matter. And finally tonight, international news. According to the BBC, the Screen Actors Guild is on strike as of early this morning, marking the start of the largest Hollywood shutdown in decades. About 160,000 performers stop work at midnight, and they will join the Writers Guild of America, which has been striking since May. SAG members want a fairer split of profits from streaming giants and better working conditions. The unions are also concerned about the use of artificial intelligence and how it could be used in the industry. Several top Hollywood actors have already supported the strike, including Margot Robbie from the upcoming Barbie movie.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.